under the guidelines of fair use permitted by copyright statute for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. All content and credit go to the original creators. No copyright infringement is intended. This channel may feature copyrighted video and audio content under the guidelines of fair. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to MTGV Crime Podcast and MTGV Politics. Shout out to everybody in the building and everybody on the replay. Today we're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk updates and where we are with the case and what's going on. It's been a few days since we've been live. And I'm just looking at some headlines right now. DNA found at Charlie Kirk's crime scene linked to the suspect, says the FBI. ABC obtained 911 calls after Kirk was shot. And UK lawmakers react to anti-immigration rallies in London. Y'all, please drop down and let me know who's here. Y'all smack the thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel if you have not. We're gonna go ahead and get started. This is that is the trans lover that they are saying has cooperated completely with the case. That's what they're saying. And he hasn't been charged with anything, but I definitely believe that some charges will come. And maybe they're just watching him to see what he do, because I mean, it's messages that suggest that he knew what was going on, but that's not what they're saying right now. Right now, he's free, said to be cooperating, and Tyler is not. But if they have messages between them, linking, talking about the weapon and picking it up or whatever, I think it's a little bit more to that. And then there was posts made by this person that said that something big was going to happen. So I'm a little bit confused on that. And they had spoke to a neighbor that heard some things about, heard some things just by coming in and out of the house. And that person mentioned that, they had heard him talking about some doctor's appointments and things like that. He also said that Lance had freckles on his face at one point in life, and we can see, I mean, it's freckles and, of course, pimples on his face. This is when he graduated from high school. And from my understanding, it was 22. And then the picture with the furry outfit is 2025. So he's been going through a transition, and they saying that this was his lover. They lived together. And I had said that in the beginning. Shout out to BFF in the building. Welcome in to everybody listening in. How you doing, John? Thank you for coming in. Yes, y'all, please, when you come in, make sure you hit the thumbs up. I appreciate that, BFF. I hope everybody is having a great day today. But yeah, let's get into it with the 911 calls. But what do y'all think about the roommate? Do y'all think that it will be some charges coming up later? And y'all already know, like, there was a memorial yesterday. There was a memorial yesterday, and the president, I don't believe he showed up for that. I watched a little bit of it. What did y'all think about that? Did y'all tune in? But today, JD Vance was the host of his Charlie Kirk's podcast today, and it was other White House officials there. Like, so that probably just ended not too long ago. But I want to get into, and then they went and they did go and pick up his body. I ran across this. That is Erica Kirk and the wife of Cash Patel. I remember hearing in the last live stream that they were, or one of the live streams that I did, that they were going to get his body. So that is what we looking at right here. They also showed this part. And there was another part that I just didn't get, it was open and she was like rubbing his hand, laying on him and stuff. I didn't grab that part of it, but I did see it. And shout out to BFF too for sending me some videos. What is this? Oh, this is when the incident happened right after the shots fired and everybody got down, and they actually carried him out at some point, but I didn't get that part either on purpose. What's this? Oh, this just happened. I ran across this as I was coming on here. This is a guy. I don't know how old he is, but he was at a memorial and they said that he was destroying the memorial. This is actually a video, and literally, let me see what it says. But yeah, literally I just ran across this, and I didn't see exactly what he was doing, but he was standing in the memorial, and I don't know if he was stomping on stuff or whatnot, but they like people that were standing around just like grabbed him by the back of his head and threw him to the ground, and then the police came and arrested him. And you see that he has on the same type of shirt. So people are like, look and see how many people are buying this shirt. They trying to link people together to see if they are some type of group or whatever. But they definitely have Discord messages back and forth. And they are looking into those people that was on Discord, people that gamed with him, meaning Tyler. And let me see, what is this one? Okay, and then the book. We talked about the book that was on Amazon. That link is not working at all. But while I was on there, I noticed that Charlie himself, he's written a bunch of books. I want to say over 20 books that I was scrolling by. Like, he got a whole bunch of books on Amazon. But this link don't exist no more. So I don't know, what became of that, or who the person was that actually had released that real quick. Mormons are some of the nicest people I ever met. The crowd here in Utah really showed up for Charlie. Yeah, I see a lot of people are showing up on the memorial. Shoot, it was like, I think I seen 66K or somewhere around there watching at one point. I don't know how. It's like they probably earned $1 million on there yesterday, and then today. Like, I mean, people was donating 500 to 100. Like, I mean, it was just going. The whole chat was lit up. I'm very interested to know how much did they earn. Shoot, like, they earned a lot of money, and that's just what we could see on YouTube. People was there in person. It was a lot. I mean, obviously, but it was a lot going on, and it was fights and different things at memorials that they had. I seen quite a few. I seen this one guy calling somebody else a sellout because they was actually I don't know what was going on, but I seen them being pushed around. And then somebody else was against him that I think he was a Mexican guy. And so I did see fights happening. It wasn't all nice, And let's listen at the 911 call.
UVU by the sound stand reported one individual that was shot, unknown where the shooter went. And let's be advised, UVU in Orem has had an active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event. We're getting several calls. We're trying to get more information.
They requesting it?
We're not sure yet. We're just trying to get units that way.
I don't call out. Center 500 West, affiliated no further. Yeah.
Maybe the CS building is just east of the library. He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask, long rifle.
Blue on the Odyssey, no plate.
35. And east 600 north.
Good evening. I'm Kathy Vara. Carolyn is off tonight, and we begin with these new developments in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Police identified the shooting suspect as 22-year-old Tyler Robinson. NBC4's Darsha Phillips in our newsroom now with the latest, including the new message from Kirk's widow and new audio of the 911 calls moments after that deadly shooting. Darsha.
Well, Kathy, hundreds of students were gathered at Utah Valley University when that shot rang out, and it caused sheer panic. Many students ran for cover. Some desperately called 911. NBC News obtained the audio of some of those calls, so many struggling to communicate what they had just seen and experienced.
There's been a shooting at UVU, Charlie Kirk event, UVU courtyard.
The Kirk speaker at UVU just got shot in the head.
What's the address?
UVU.
And what happened?
He's a speaker, famous guy, Speaker Kirk.
911 operators tried to get as much information from callers about what happened and where Charlie Kirk was. He had been taken away by a team of people.
He got rushed off in an SUV, a black SUV.
Okay, did you see did you see it happen?
Yes, I saw everything.
Operators also wanted to know where the shooter was.
Do you know where the person that shot him is?
No.
After a 33-hour manhunt, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson was arrested for the shooting death of Kirk. Utah Governor Spencer Cox said that a family friend reached out to a sheriff's office Thursday night and said he had confessed or implied he was responsible for killing Kirk. Robinson is a college student and has no known criminal past. A high-powered bolt-action rifle was discovered near the Utah Valley campus after the shooting, along with bullet casings with anti-fascist inscriptions. Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, did not address the shooter personally when she spoke publicly for the first time since her husband's death, but she did have a message.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea.
Earlier Friday, she flew back to Arizona with her husband's body on Air Force Two alongside Vice President J.D. Vance. She was seen waving to a crowd of supporters who gathered at a memorial for her husband. Erica Kirk spoke from the Turning Point USA headquarters in Phoenix, Arizona, where her husband recorded his podcast. She spoke about how much he loved his life and his family, and she also vowed that her husband's podcast and his legacy will go on.
To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die.
Charlie Kirk was on the America Comeback Tour when he was assassinated. Erica Kirk says the tour will continue. Live in the newsroom tonight, I'm Darsha Phillips, NBC4 News.
UVU by the Soundstand reported.
Oh, shoot.
There's one individual that was shot, unknown where the shooter went. And let's be advised, UVU in Orem has had an active shooter at the Charlie Kirk event. We're getting several calls. We're trying to get more information.
They requesting it.
We're not sure yet. We're just trying to get units that way.
I don't call out. Center 500 West, totally no further. Zero.
Maybe the CS building is just east of the library. He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask, long rifle.
Blue on the Odyssey, no plate.
35. And east 600 north.
Okay. Yeah, so let me go here right quick. So this is the part that I was talking about, but what did y'all think about that? Somebody said, we know. Someone said he was not a saint. No one wins. Boo-hoo. Wow. What planet do you live on? It's a lot of always a difference of opinions, and we definitely welcome them. Definitely welcome freedom of speech. So yeah, what did y'all think about that? Now, as far as the roommate, one of the things that, I mean, they're saying that this person is cooperating and they don't have nobody else, but it don't make sense to me because Kash Patel had already said earlier in the day that Robinson had even told someone about his heinous plot before he fatally fired on the guy. And then he had a text message exchange with another individual in which he claimed that he had an opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk. And he was going to do it because he had hatred for what he stood for, right? That's what Patel said on Fox and Friends, is what I'm reading right now. So this is why it don't make no sense to me, that the roommate wouldn't be charged. So that's why I think it might be some type of tactic that they are using to not alert the guy. Now, why did my screen just shrink like, oh, wait, what the heck? Hold on, y'all. We having some things going on. What is happening? Okay, we are back. So right here it says these are some of the updates, some of the things. Suspected assassins he chillingly wrote his plans to take out Charlie over his views. DNA found at the scene. They said that it was a screwdriver found at the scene with his DNA. So that links him in addition to all the other circumstantial information that they have, and digital evidence and all the video footage that's basically clearing everything where you could see it. So Speaker Johnson, JFK Jr., they mourn the loss of him. Now, what I've been seeing as far as his loss, there are some people that's actually questioning God and their faith There was one lady that I seen speaking that said that she just walked out of church because she is confused about her faith now after that, because in the memorial you hear them, Jesus Christ, praising him, praising God, and their faith, and saying that he's basically a martyr, but he speaks hate and evil. I mean, he speaks division. So some people have lost faith, and some people, of course, everybody that support him agree with his everything that he says. But I heard him say that he don't like empathy. But one of the things that shocked me the most that he said, because remember, I didn't know him at all up until this happened. And one of the things I heard him say was that he wanted to bring back public executions. And he was speaking about what age should your kid be to be able to watch this. And then the other guy said something about, well, we won't make it all gruesome by putting them on a wheel, but 16 would be a good age. And then Charlie said 12. That blew me away. That blew me away. And then another thing that tripped me out is when Donald Trump was asked how did he feel about this happening to Charlie. And he was just like, yeah, my ballroom has been built over there. And I was like, wow. Let me see. Did y'all see that? This is not what I'm trying. People in this room, and he was a really special guy. So I'm gonna. Now this is not the part that I'm talking about, but this is something that he was a friend of a lot of the people in this room, and he was a really special guy. So I'm going to be going to Charlie's. I guess you'd call it a funeral. There's a small one. I said, can we do the big one, because we're going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is a big deal. It's the civil version. It's the highest you can get. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor. And usually I say, I like it much. He was a friend of a lot of the people. How do y'all feel about that Medal of Honor? Who are the type of people that usually will get this? The highest award that you could give. Did he say to a civilian? Let's listen again. People in this room, and he was a really special guy. So I'm going to be going to Charlie's. I guess you'd call it a funeral. There's a small one. I said, can we do the big one, because we're going to give him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is a big deal. It's the civil version. It's the highest you can get. It's the equivalent of the Congressional Medal of Honor. And usually I say, I like it much. He was a friend of a lot. Okay. So they said that it says a memorial for conservative activists and Trump ally Kirk, Charlie Kirk, 31, will take place next Sunday in Glendale, Arizona at State Farm Stadium. The venue, this is the same venue that they had the Super Bowl in 2023. And the president says he plans to attend the funeral after returning from his UK state visit next week. This was MAGA on MAGA crime. So are you going to war with MAGA because the left didn't do it? Man, I mean, I've said before that I didn't follow politics at all until now, like this year. And I'm finding out I didn't even know about Nancy Pelosi's husband being attacked by a guy that just he had a hammer and he just hammered his way into their house, and the guy calls 911, and it just blew me away because I just watched this morning, or it might have been last night. But the guy calls the police, and the man is back there. He's back there saying his name is David when he knew that he was calling 911, but so he tell him his name is David or whatever, and he goes. When the police get there, both of them are holding on to this hammer. And the police is like, well, what's going on? And then, he got taking the hammer from the man. The man is old. He's 80 some years old. This guy, I don't know. He looked old too, but he probably was in his 30s. He takes the hammer out the guy's hand and just hammer him right there in front of the cops. And they never even took the guy out. And I thought about, what was his name? I cannot think of his name, but it was a black guy. Was his name Brandon? It was a transgender woman in his apartment. And soon as the police came, they was struggling over this jab, and the police just fired right away. Didn't waste no time in that case. And he unalived the wrong person. He unalived a person whose house it was. But this guy, clearly you can see that this Pelosi guy, this is where he lived. He had on a shirt and boxers, and you got this other man in there that didn't belong. But the way that he looked at that cop right before he did it, and they didn't shoot him. They took him away in handcuffs. I'm like, what the hell? What's really going on? How do you let this guy? It's like they just let him do it. Because, I mean, if you was going to shoot somebody, it should have been him. But anyway, like, I mean, this stuff is, I'm learning from this. This is crazy to me. I ain't never seen this in my life. What's happening? But I can tell you that it's dividing the world. I want to play this. Let me see. Before I do that, because I'm going to get into what people are saying, right? I always like to listen at both sides. What do people think about what's being said? But a couple witnesses spoke, and I had spoke on a neighbor that spoke out too, and we gonna get to that. Let me pull up these videos. I don't even know why I took it down. Y'all, please smack the thumbs up if you haven't, and subscribe to the channel. What else we got after, please? Let's see.
With me now, two witnesses to the shooting, Amy and Jeremy King. They were there at the event yesterday. Hello to both of you. I'm glad that you're able to speak with us. Jeremy, I want to start with you. You were in very close proximity to Charlie Kirk. Tell us what you saw and how you've been able to process that since yesterday.
Well, we arrived shortly after Charlie got out of his vehicle, so we were maybe 50 feet behind him as we followed up the stairway through the hall corridor, out a door, and down to basically the front row. So we were sitting approximately 20 feet away. The shooting occurred approximately 10 minutes into the Q&A. It was the second question asked of the night. And we were just settling in. We were excited for this debate. We have an open mind on a lot of these subjects that they were talking about. And he unfortunately did not get to get into it very far before we heard a pop. And it took me a second to realize it was gunfire. And everyone just dropped. Amy dropped. And I stood over her for a moment as I scanned. We didn't know if it was a single shot or if there was going to be additional shots followed. And so that was the scariest part of the whole night, was not knowing what was going on, that moment of chaos. You know, you asked, since the event, you get clarity, right? We know Charlie was targeted, but at the time we didn't know any of that. And that was really hard to process.
Amy, did you just freeze, or did you know that it was a shooting?
I knew immediately because I was looking at Charlie when he was speaking, and I heard the shot from my right and just saw immediately him fall back. And I froze. I actually didn't get down. He actually pushed me down and said, get down. And my phone was still on. And the video, you can hear me just saying, oh my gosh, they shot him. It was just complete shock. I mean, you see things like this on TV, but when you're actually in that event and they're witnessing, it's a different aspect that you see it compared to if you're at home watching it.
And Amy, then there are reports of, we know he was shot in the neck, that his hand immediately went up and then he fell back, as you described, and there was a lot of blood. Did you see security on him right away?
Yes, his bodyguard, I never saw his hand go up. I just saw him fall back. But his bodyguard and his team around him swarmed immediately and just grabbed him. There was probably 5 or 6 guys on him within seconds, and they immediately took him to his SUV. And our closest exit was right behind Charlie, and that's why we were right behind him, because it was our closest exit.
Jeremy, what are you hearing from other people who were at the event? Again, almost 24 hours later, what are they saying? What are you all talking about?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies floating around. I think it's too early to tell. I think it took us a moment to realize, again, that the shooter was not right there in the crowd. That was our immediate concern, was, again, is this a mass shooting event? And later on we saw video of the guy on the roof. And so our next thought was, how do you have these events moving forward? How do you canvas such a large area? The amount of rooftop, the glass, there was just 100 different places where someone could hide out, waiting for that moment of opportunity to take a shot like that. So if we fundamentally change the way we do things, the way we do gatherings, or are we able to get ahead of that using, drones, AI? We were surprised not to see a detail outside of this immediate, almost like crowd control, right? Where was the perimeter security and the rooftop guards? I think Charlie at this point has a big name, a big following. He's very controversial. So there should have been more going on outside of his immediate detail.
Yeah, it's such a good point, and many people have raised that. Do you need to move things indoors? But I mean, when you look at the mass crowds that someone like that can gather. Amy, I'll get a final thought from you, and that is where you see things going from here. There are calls to tone down the rhetoric, but at the same time, we know that there are people who are very angry about this. Some people are saying, this is war. What are your thoughts and concerns moving forward around political discourse and the ability to have these meetings and discussions?
I think it depends. It doesn't really matter what side you're on. Violence is never the answer. I'm a mother of several young kids, and this world that they're growing up is completely what I grew up with. And so we need to teach our young kids, our teenagers, every one of them, that violence is never the answer. It doesn't matter if you disagree with someone. You can listen to them respectfully and just have an open ear and disagree with them quietly. That's what my takeaway is. I'm not on any side. I want to hear people open to discussion about this. But at the end of the day, violence is never the answer to solve any problem.
Amy and Jeremy, again, I thank you both for your time today, and I'm glad that you're okay. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I can't disagree that violence is not the answer. But some of the things that I would hear Charlie say, like, I mean, come on, y'all. It's
I want to send
Hold
it over to
on.
my colleague, Cannon Seacrest. He was the first.
I don't even have to hear the most violent I already mentioned about the public execution. And the only time I can think about that happening is to Black folks being hung. You know, I mean, that's graphic. It's upsetting to even think about. And he was really pushing that. I will never understand that, nor will I support it. But I don't support violence either. I don't. I'm not one of those that's out here wanting a civil war. I'm not. I believe that the world needs more love, even though I'm not stupid enough to know that that's not where we are right now. And that's not where we ever have been in the world. I believe in freedom of speech, but we got to be real. If you are speaking death upon a certain race of people, that's a lot. That's very, very controversial, and it's very divisive. You know, but everybody had a right to listen to and say whatever they want until you don't, because it's not the freedom of speech is not really that free. It depends on what you're saying, because I'm seeing a lot of people losing their jobs too. But I don't support violence at all. I would never call for somebody to be executed in no way, shape, or form. I believe that, I mean, treating somebody like a human is important to me. And even what I was looking at with the immigration and all of the stuff that's going on with them, I knew that, I mean, if they can do it to one group of people, everybody is affected, and that's what we looking at right now. I mean, I've been carefully watching, listening at what they saying, listening at both sides, and then seeing what's really happening. And it's crazy, and it's about to get worse with the the Affordable Care Act it's about to expire, and anybody that is an extension to that's getting good rates on their insurance and all of that stuff is about to go sky high. It's about to expire. So if it's bad now, it's gonna get worse. And I mean, it's just so much happening at one time. I can't even keep up with everything. But we definitely paying attention over here, man. And it ain't about trying to disagree with anybody just for the argument, because I don't even like arguing. I like to deal in facts and really evaluate what's really happening. And what's happening right now, clearly we going backwards. Clearly it's like, forget about the poor, and it's not supposed to be that. The poor will always be among us, but to get rid of homeless and think that, I mean, their only thing that's gonna happen with them is they're gonna go to prison, jail. And then, get ready to take care of your parents, because their medication is gonna go up to hundreds. And some people can't even pay their $25 co-pays. Man, this is bad. Those are the things that I'm thinking about personally.
First reporter here early this morning in this neighborhood, keeping an eye on the scene here all day. The latest on the shooting and killing of Charlie Kirk. Cannon, we recognize just how busy this neighborhood is and how this might look different for many of these. I want to send it over to my colleague, Cannon Seacrest. He was the first reporter here early this morning in this neighborhood, keeping an eye on the scene here all day. The latest on the shooting and killing of Charlie Kirk. Cannon, we recognize just how busy this.
I want to hear what the
in Washington County. It's kind of scary, because there's been a lot of different things that's happened in St. George recently, like the Ruby Frankie situation. Now this, it's just wild to think that there's all these people around here and you don't know what's going on or what people are thinking and planning on doing. Like no one would have ever expected someone from Washington, Utah going to trying to assassinate Charlie Kirk and succeeding with it.
Neighbors tell me their hearts are with the Robinson family, who face the difficult decision of turning their son in.
You just got to do what you believe is best and what you believe is right. And they believe that the best thing to do was turn their son. And I can't imagine how hard that would be, especially because it sounds like that they didn't know what to do at first. I probably would just call the cops first and then turn them in. But you got to do what you got to do. But I feel for their family, and I think it's a scary time that they're going through. And I hope for the best for all of them and all their siblings and everything, and hope they do well.
The death of Charlie Kirk has sent shockwaves throughout communities across Utah, and some are hoping that this will be a turning point for healing, not just here in Utah, but throughout the nation.
It's scary. The more the time goes on, the more everyone keeps getting divided, and it's just going down a darker path, which sucks. And I hope that his death...
Exactly. Everybody is getting divided and going down a darker path. That I cannot disagree with. Not at all. Not even a little bit. And it's sad.
It can bring us all together more and bring peace and all that. But the way that it's looking right now, it's not looking like that's going to be the case.
Now, there was another guy that spoke out, the guy who actually asked the question right before it happened. And I was wondering who that guy was and what did he think. So he actually spoke out. I'm going to go to that. Wait, did I put his picture? I don't have his picture in here, so I'm going to let him keep talking while I add that.
I talked with countless neighbors out here today. One who just lived a few houses down, had lived here next to them for 25 plus years. And overall, everyone has just been completely shocked. Sarah, back to you.
Cannon, while I have you, I feel like you have a unique perspective I'd like to hear from. You are someone, you don't only report here in this Southern Utah Bureau, but this is your hometown. You've grown up here. You've lived here your entire life. Tell us from your perspective just how unexpected was something like this happening in this community.
Well, last night, I know we had coverage all yesterday and all the day before about this. And I went to sleep thinking I wasn't going to be covering a story like this, and ended up waking up to a bunch of phone calls and texts from our studio and our friends up there that are telling me, hey, this person, he lives in Washington County, lives in Washington City, just about, 20, 30 minutes from where I grew up personally. And so, I mean, to me, it was a massive shock to wake up this morning and find out the news, and then also to be here and be covering it throughout the day.
Okay. Why does it do that? Hold on, y'all. What the heck? So every time I take something down, it does that. What are we doing here? Just getting on my nerves. Give me 1 second, y'all. So I guess that's gonna happen every time. So this guy right here, that's the guy that was talking to him right before it happened. Hold on, I'm getting to it. Oh, as a matter of fact, let me do this. I was looking for this shorter update, but of course I can't find it right now. Oh, it might be right here. Here it is.
Hey guys, so I have some new information on the
Shout out to Brian Enton.
Charlie Kirk assassination investigation. This comes from FBI Director Kash Patel. This has to do with the suspect, Tyler Robinson. This is pretty significant. Kash Patel says that DNA on a screwdriver, which we didn't know this, there was apparently a screwdriver found on the rooftop at the university that the suspect is accused of shooting Charlie Kirk at. There was a screwdriver and DNA on that screwdriver, and also DNA on a towel that was wrapped around the gun has connected back to the suspect, Tyler Robinson. That is new from Kash Patel. Also, he said that there are scores of people in the Discord chat room that the suspect was in, and they are looking into all of those people. Kash Patel said all this on Fox News, and that they learned shocking things when they spoke to the suspect's family, and that he had a text message exchange with another individual in which he claimed he had an opportunity to take out Kirk, and he was going to do it because of his hatred for what Charlie Kirk stood for. So that's the latest. We're expecting the suspect, Tyler Robinson, to be in court for the first time tomorrow. Also, keep you guys posted.
So court tomorrow. That was a good update right there. And that's what I was talking about, mentioning the screwdriver. And hold on, y'all. Let me see what y'all saying. Please smack the thumbs up if you haven't. And also subscribe to the channel, become a member. If you want to support the channel, you can by donating to the channel, hitting the thumbs up, subscribing. Did someone delete my comment? YouTube might have held it because they definitely do that if you put any cuss words in it or anything like that. I'm a conservative. I used to be independent, but the left just keep pushing so much violence and hate. You cannot be a Christian and a Democrat. See, all that left and right, the Democrats, Republicans, I'm seeing all of that, but I'm not seeing the hate coming from that side. And I'm not a part of either one, because I know that people are saying, that he had left views, but his grandmother, when she spoke out, she said that she don't know a Democrat. Everybody in her circle is a Republican, including her grandson. So she was very confused as to what was going on. And he was born into Republican. So it sounds like, at some point he changed what his views, and it don't sound like his parents knew until it was too late, possibly what he was thinking, or if he felt like it was worth it to take somebody's life based off of their views and stuff. I think it's a bit extreme. I can't say that I would do it, but I don't know what's going on in the mind of a person like him. I don't understand any of it. But I operate in love. You know what I'm saying? When I'm up here reporting these cases, I have compassion and empathy and a heart to do it. And I don't care what race you are. We human. Even though I know, obviously, I'm just so disappointed by what I'm seeing. Is very eye-opening. That's a fact. But we here to tell the story. We here to pay attention to what's going on in this world. And wow. But let's go to the guy that was last talking to him and just hear a little bit about what he was thinking.
So my name is Hunter. I was in the middle of debating Charlie Kirk. in the middle of the assassination at Utah Valley University.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
What brought you to the event that day? I make videos on Charlie Kirk, and I made this video about the statistical analysis on trans shooters. And sort of the point that I was trying to make was that it's sort of a statistical outlier, that they're extremely underrepresented when it comes to how peaceful they are.
Now, I just want to say this, like I like facts and stats and real information, and this is another thing that's eye-opening for me as to not knowing nothing about Charlie until the day that he was unalive. And somebody had even said in my chat that a lot of times when he he don't speak with facts, and people can debunk him. So y'all hear what he say, and I'll stop it.
Obviously, that question, pretty ironic given when it was given. Yeah, so I mostly came in there.
And I will drop the link to this channel because I'm not going to play all of it.
Because Charlie's very open about having some sort of dialogue or some sort of conversation that he believes in engaging. And I'm pretty on the record of how much I disagree with him, but I do definitely respect how much he's willing to platform voices to ensure that at least some semblance of a good conversation can come out of it.
Mm-hmm. And as far as these statistical anomaly thing when it comes to trans shooters, is that in response to the way that him and Turning Point were framing that as like a big issue?
So it was about 3 weeks ago. There was a trans shooter at a Catholic church. Charlie made a bunch of tweets basically saying like, when are we going to start noticing that this is a trend? And I'm like,
oh wait, hold on, let me. Wow,
I'm getting my math degree at UVU. That was my university, and I was like, there's an answer to that. There's
See how he said that it was a trend. That's the part that I'm trying to focus on. Hold on.
Some semblance of a good conversation can come out of it.
Mm-hmm. And as far as these statistical anomaly thing when it comes to trans shooters, is that in response to the way that him and Turning Point were framing that as like a big issue?
So it was about 3 weeks ago. There was a trans shooter at a Catholic church. Charlie made a bunch of tweets basically saying
okay, so I wanted to stop it to read the tweet. And he said Minnesota Minneapolis school shooter Robert Westman confessed he was tired of being trans, and he wished he never brainwashed himself. The evil perpetrator on young people by the trans medical industry is something future generations will look upon with horror. That was what Charlie wrote.
Like, when are we going to start noticing that this is a trend? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting my math degree at UVU. That was my university, and I was like, there's an answer to that. There's, we can determine if there's some sort of outliers. We can use p-values, things like that. And I was like, according to the data, it really doesn't pan out that there is a trend here.
So the data that they have up right here says comparison to cisgender, transgender mass shootings. Let's see. It says right-wing pundits have pointed to 4 instances. Hold on. Have pointed to 4 instances of transgender shooters in 2018, 2019, 2022, and so far in 2023. Calling it a trend. We counted a total of 1,529 mass shootings in those years based on dates from the gun violence archives. Trans shooters made up 0.3% of all mass shootings in these years, compared to 99.7% of cisgender shootings. Which I don't even like that cisgender mess. But anyway, each figure in this chart represents 4.4 shooters. Okay. So some people have said that, you know, he gives misinformation, and that's what this guy is also saying. I don't know what y'all think in the chat. I don't care what you're saying. These trans people are dangerous. What I'm saying is what I'm reading, and I don't care what you saying either. You can get out of my chat with that nasty attitude, because I don't deal with disrespect. Get out of here with that. Grow the fuck up.
At all. So I kind of made a video calling him out a little bit and saying, hey, I want to come debate you. I want to come do it. And a lot of people were kind of encouraging me. So I kind of wanted to come and have my, I guess my little audience see that.
How was the energy whenever you arrived to the event?
Very conservative, for sure. Everyone was very energetic, chanting Trump, chanting USA.
Bring the best lives that Utah has to offer.
There was a line of liberals on the rooftop who were holding like pride flags and I think some like Palestine flags and things like that. And, you know, there was a little bit of taunting back and forth, but not very out of hand. Most of the debaters were either like asking questions like who's better, LeBron or Jordan, or like some like theological debates about distinctions between like Mormonism and Christians.
Jesus Christ was a real person.
Wait, hold on, man. I done lost my focus a little bit. Shout out to everybody in the building. So I see that it's 68 people over here on the Crime Podcast, and it's 251 total. So I'm looking at 16 thumbs up on the Crime Podcast. Can you 68 people please smack the thumbs up? I would greatly appreciate it. Support the host, support the content, support the channel. It's free, y'all, to hit the thumbs up. And if y'all could hit the thumbs up on the politics side, I would appreciate that.
Perfect life. He was crucified, died.
Debating Charlie Kirk. So my name. So there was a trans shooter at a Catholic church. Charlie made a bunch of tweets basically saying, like, when are we going to start noticing that this is a trend? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting my math degree at UVU. That was my university, and I was like, there's an answer to that. There's, you know, we can determine if there's some sort of outliers. We can use p-values, things like that. And I was like, according to the data, it really doesn't pan out that there is a trend here at all. So I kind of made a video calling him out a little bit and saying, hey, I want to come debate you. I want to come do.
Can y'all hit the thumbs up? So I'm on the other side, and I see 135 people with 36 thumbs up. Can y'all hit the thumbs up, please? Shout out to Blues. How you doing? Shout out to Sir Martha Goat. Mortal Goat, okay. Chase Busser. Welcome, man, y'all. Shout out to everybody. N-Key 2. Y'all, please smack the thumbs up. I see BFF over there, too. Grim Lore, Ed, Cool Ed. Y'all, please smack the thumbs up for me. Shout out to the 164 people over there. 249 total. And thank y'all also to contributing to our 20K growth goal hit also officially the other day. And thank you over here. We about to hit 3K over here. So thank y'all and subscribe if you have not. We had 2,640. So our goal is to reach 3,000 over there. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Shout out to everybody. Welcome, y'all.
And a lot of people were kind of encouraging me, so I kind of wanted to come and have my, I guess my little audience see that.
How was the energy whenever?
See, when you're not speaking with facts, it's like it's called gaslighting. You know what I mean? Like if you're not speaking with facts, you just gaslighting people and making them believe something that's not true. And I mean, you have to be careful. Like me as a crime podcaster, like I like to stick to the facts. Yeah, we give opinions. I ain't no lawyer, and it is freedom of speech, right? So we can practice some of that, and we can say some things that the newscasters can't say. But damn, I mean, they starting to say whatever too now. I mean, the world is changing right before our eyes. Most of all, you're supposed to have respect, and I mean, everybody shouldn't think alike. Especially with us being different races. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to think alike and we're going to have our differences. But There's no race better than the other in my eyes. We all human. We all bleed red and poop brown. I'm sure, right? You know, I know that's a little bit intrusive, but hey, that's the real. And it's just really sad the state that this world is going backwards to, back to the hate. Going backwards ain't never been great. I don't suggest anybody go backwards in life, period. Why are we even going backwards? It's not okay. Every human is different, and that God made us that way. Because for one person that don't like to take care of the elderly or the mentally you know, I don't want to say challenged, but I can't think of the words right now because my mind is just racing all over the place because I'm just so disappointed at what I'm looking at. And I've been looking at a lot of division on social media with you know, men versus women and all this crap. It's like at the end of the day, it's the world is moving so fast that I can't even keep up with what's happening, and it's things happening while things are happening on top of things, and it's like, you know, we started this thing with planes falling out the sky, drones dropping uh clouds, and I don't yeah, it's a lot happening that I don't quite get, that I find very strange. Things happen, we forget about it because something worse happens. So it makes me think, what are we being distracted from? What more are we being distracted from? But anyway.
When you arrived to the event? Very conservative, for sure. Everyone was very energetic, chanting Trump, chanting USA. Bring the best lips that Utah has to
offer. Josh, can somebody get Josh up out of here?
A line of
let me see where you
on
at.
the rooftop.
Let me help you out.
We're holding like pride flags and I think some like Palestine flags and things like that. And you know, there was a little bit of taunting back and forth, but not very out of hand. Most of the debaters were either like asking questions like who's better, LeBron or Jordan, or like some like theological debates about distinctions between
BFF, you quicker than me.
And Christians.
Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day. And he is Lord and God of all.
But also,
that's that part right there. That's the part. Talking about Jesus while talking about executing people. I just don't, that don't go together. That's the confusing part.
I want to say 20 minutes, maybe. Like, I really didn't get a good finger on the pulse on what an event would really look like because, I mean, I showed up fairly early. I was the second person to speak there.
BFF was like,
so, the first person was maybe 10 minutes and I maybe got like less than a minute in. So,
could you give us kind of a recap of how that conversation with Charlie went?
Sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna, hey, Charlie. Hey,
okay, so there's him talking. Hold on, let me slow it down. This is his big question.
We're gonna have a little bit more disagreement.
So it was, I came in and I said, hey, there was a shooting that happened maybe a few weeks ago in Minneapolis.
And ever since then,
Chris, it's a lot I don't know, and I'm sure it's even more you don't know. I'm not up here claiming to know everything. He talking about, lady, you don't know the Bible, and you don't know me. Shit, it's a lot of stuff. You probably don't know more than me. Why you pointing out what I don't know, and you don't know me at all? Get the hell out of, I don't like you. Get out of my damn chat. How about that? Telling me what the hell I know and don't know.
And about 3 weeks later, the Trump shooting.
God dang it.
Gun rights for transgender.
Made me drop my whole dang phone. Hold on. Let's take it back. We getting distractions in here. The hell are you talking about?
So,
could you give us kind of a recap of how that conversation with Charlie went?
Sure.
Yeah, so we're gonna, hey, Charlie. Hey, hopefully we're gonna have a little bit more disagreement.
So it was, I came in and I said, hey, there was a shooting that happened maybe a few weeks ago in Minneapolis.
And ever since then, about 3 weeks later, the Trump DOJ said that we should start talking about revoking gun rights for transgender Americans.
Do you think, is that, you agree with this? Is that a fair assessment or something like that? And he said, yes. And then I said, so do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years? Too many.
That was his answer. Too many. No real facts on that. No real stats. Just too many. But he said that it was too many. It was so many that they should revoke guns from them, pretty much.
And I said, there's 5. And I said, do you know how many shootings there have been? I think maybe my memory.
He said there's 5.
A little hazy. I haven't rewatched the videos, honestly. But it was something like this, which I knew the answer was, it was a little under 6,000. He said something like, we need to account for gang violence. And I think I was like, I was in the middle of saying, great, did you run a statistical analysis on that? Right? Like essentially saying you have the burden of proof. And I think I was in the middle of saying that when he got shot.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
That is the wildest thing. Right when he said that, counting or not counting gang violence, he said, right? Let's take it back.
Get a good finger on the pulse on
That's
what
wild.
that would really look like, because I showed up fairly early. I was the second person to speak there, so the first person was maybe 10 minutes, and I maybe got less than a minute in. So could you give it?
Who's here for a fight? Raise your hand. I am not here for one. Please understand, this isn't a debate stream. Thank you. I don't like debating. I don't like arguing. I don't like chaos and confusion. Thank you, Blues. Get the hell out of here with that. I like for people to be who you are, say what you want. Don't be disrespectful, though. I'm here for understanding. Let's say that. Some people listen to argue. I listen to understand. So if you want to know my stance, that's what it is. I'm not on division. I'm not on violence. I'm not on hate. Just know that I operate in love and with good intentions. That's how I move.
It's kind of a recap of how that conversation with Charlie went.
No gaslighting and bullshit.
Hey, Charlie. Hopefully we're going to have a little bit more disagreement.
So it was, I came in and I said, hey, there was a shooting that happened maybe a few weeks ago in Minneapolis.
And ever since then, about 3 weeks later, the Trump DOJ said that we should start talking about revoking gun rights for transgender Americans.
Thank you, BFF.
Do you think, you agree with this? Is that a fair assessment or something like that? And he said, yes. And then I said,
so do you know how many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years?
Too many. And I said, there's 5. And I said, do you know how many shootings there have been? I think maybe my memory's a little hazy. I haven't rewatched the videos, honestly. But it was something like this, which I knew the answer was, it was a little under 6,000. He said something like, we need to account for gang violence. And I think I was like, I was in the middle of saying, great, did you run a statistical analysis on that? Right? Like essentially saying you have the burden of proof. And I think I was in the middle of saying that when he got shot.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great.
Counting or not counting gang violence. Now, you want to know what's ridiculous that nobody freaking talks about that could be stopped, especially with us seeing the military, the National Guards being deployed. How many school shootings have we been looking at all week, last week? Just Oh, just this year alone, how many has it been? Why aren't they taking more efforts to get that to stop? It's like, I mean, why isn't there more efforts to get that to stop? I find that being a huge, that should be at the top of things to fix. Don't y'all think? It's been so many. It's probably one right now. But they don't seem to think that's a problem. I
went
don't get
down pretty immediately, and everyone near me, everyone in the rest of my line, who I'd been talking to for the last like few hours, dropped down with me. I remember I have a brother who was in a school shooting, and I was talking about the distinction between these. That like for me, it was there wasn't as much fear as I think I would expect, because I recognized immediately, like I think I was a lot more logical than I thought I would be in that moment, where I was like, that's an assassination. He is the target. He is the only target. I am freaked out, but
Can I get y'all to smack the thumbs up? I'm looking at 199 over here. We got 46 thumbs up. Can y'all hit the thumbs up? It's 225 total. We definitely gonna make our exit today on time. The military is not in the business of de-escalating crime reduction. So why are they sending them to Chicago when Chicago got police that can do that? Riddle me that one, please, because that's how they're using them to control crime and people, allegedly. So yeah, that don't make sense what you just said, in my opinion.
know that I'm okay. Whatever. It definitely became chaotic. My wife was in the crowd. I tried reaching her. It took me like 20, 30 minutes. Just a lot of chaos as I sort of shifted in a weird place. Then I had to wrap back around, and I couldn't find her, and our phones weren't really working, and it was bombarded by texts, and I don't know. So it was very chaotic, and it took a while to really orient myself. But it was a strange environment because people were kind of milling around afterward. I think a lot of people had this similar idea that it's like, this is different. An assassination is very different from a mass shooting, where a mass shooting you disperse, right? Everyone's a target. But when it comes to an assassination, it's everyone just sort of was there. And
I think the police in Chicago is doing more than y'all think they doing. Because I keep saying, too many Chicagoans talk about black SUVs speeding off and they never catch the shooters. So I think, they the ones that saying that they suspect that it's the cops doing it. So I don't know. Could that be why they don't want them there? I don't know. Something ain't right. Something ain't right.
I heard a number of people say, like, so much for the tolerant left, right? Like, 2 or 3 people said that as they walked by.
And what do you think about that assessment?
I made this video a little while ago. I've been following, sounds crazy, I've been following Charlie Kirk for a little while. I went to Tampa, Florida for one of his events. I remember I was just basically interviewing some of his followers, and I found this girl, and she seems so young and bright, ignorant for sure, dumb, I would probably say. I'm like, I'll be honest, dumb.
Yeah.
But I was just asking her questions, and I started bringing up, I'm like, oh, liberals would say, and then I would give my argument, right? Someone can go get like a whole surgery done, without parent approval. It's like, how is that even happening? How are they going to the doctor's appointments without the parents there?
And then I know I've seen parents on social media where they're like, oh, I haven't identified my kid yet, and it scares me because I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna grow up thinking that they don't know what they are, or like that they could transition into something else. And
but wouldn't that be transitioning with parent approval?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, to take away. Does that make sense?
But if they have parent approval, it sounds like you're talking about parents who give approval that they should be trans. She was like, that's such an interesting thing. I've never thought of that, right? She gave, and I was like, I was like, cut. That's so perfect. I'm so glad I captured that like the conservative person was so clearly just kind of needed to hear the right thing and maybe got bumped in the right direction. And I posted it feeling so confident, and 90% of the comments were about how fat she was. And I really felt like what am I contributing to in this culture? And like, in some ways, I'm extremely proud of the left. I'm extremely proud of the people that I've met, organizing and being in these conversations. And I don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. And I would also say that the right definitely has its issue with violence, right? We talk about political violence, like, Gretchen Whitmer, Josh Shapiro, Paul Pelosi. I could go on and on.
See, I didn't even, all them people he just named. And the one I did look up was Paul Pelosi, because somebody played a video of the president saying, how's Nancy Pelosi's husband? Does anybody know? And I was like, what? Like, so I looked, man, that is crazy, y'all. But anyway, I'm gonna drop the link to this video after I end. It'll be in the description box. And another thing that I found out is that somebody said that Erica Kirk, she was Miss USA in 2012. Let me know if that's true. I ain't look it up yet, because right before I came on, I seen this. But they said his wife, Erica Kirk, used to be Miss USA in 2012. And they also said that Donald Trump owned the Miss USA pageant in 2012. Have y'all heard that, or do y'all know anything about it? Because, I mean, y'all probably been knowing them for a while. I've just found out about Charlie. And Trump's campaign manager this guy said he was threatened by a campaign manager. So let's see what he got to say. Let me move this guy. We are done. Oh, this is, I've already showed him, but this is Tyler. That's when he had his freckles and, before the transition, I guess. And I have seen some other pictures that I meant to put in here that I forgot to put in here. And we already had showed this. This is the Patels coming to get his body. I mean, they laying him down presidential. That, like, I mean, really listening at their everybody that came and spoke, Caroline Leavitt, the Kennedy, those two, and Kash Patel. I mean, it sounds like Kirk linked all of them, and he helped them. That's what his business was about, I guess, promoting them, campaigning for him and all of that. But I heard him say something about Trump's son. I think he was obviously cool with him first. I'm not really sure. I just know they've been allegedly knowing each other since he was like 16 or 18. He's been on TV, like somebody big is pushing him. I believe it's just been Trump that's been pushing him, and he's rich off of this, maybe. And somebody said that he was around before that, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm just getting to know. But let's listen at this guy who said that he was threatened by Trump's campaign manager.
On social media. So Donald Trump's campaign manager just threatened me on social media. I'm not joking. In response to the immunity decision from the Supreme Court this morning, I said on Twitter, according to the Supreme Court, Biden can now send in SEAL Team 6 to take them all out. He can send in the military to take out Trump. He has immunity for official acts now. And I guess the Trump campaign didn't like that very much. Donald Trump's campaign manager just threatened me on social media. I'm not joking. In response to the immunity decision from the Supreme Court this morning, I said on Twitter, according to the Supreme Court, Biden can now send in SEAL Team 6 to take them all out. He can send in the military to take out Trump. He has immunity for official acts now. And I guess the Trump campaign didn't like that very much, because Trump's campaign manager, Chris Lasavita, responded to me by saying, expect a visit. Now, what do you think that means? Is the Trump campaign threatening me with a visit? Are they saying they're going to send their guys to my house to try to keep me quiet so I won't advocate against their candidate? Is that what he's implying here? You know, I'm just using my First Amendment rights to tell them how awful their candidate is. But of course, the Trump campaign doesn't believe in all that. Trump said he wants to be a dictator on day one. This really is the perfect summary of the Trump campaign. Their candidate is so terrible that they have to resort to tactics like this. But here's my message to Chris Lasavita and the entire Trump campaign. No. I won't be quiet. The tens of millions of Americans who don't support Donald Trump won't be quiet either, because we see Donald Trump for what he is: a con man, a fraud, and a convicted felon.
Wow, what do y'all think about what he said? Unapologetically, he is not scared, okay? Wrong. Somebody said wrong. The pandemic was good business. Oh, for real? I don't know nothing about that crankbait. The pandemic was good business. Charlie left a $15 million estate. Shoot, I'm sure everything he left is growing right now fast. And I mean, they not slowing down. You know, they not slowing down. They a bunch of people, I guess, signed up, 1,800 or something like that. Yeah, I'm just wondering who gonna take the mic exactly like he had. Is his wife? It's sounding like it might be his wife. You know, I heard somewhere, and it wasn't, I forgot where I heard it, but it came from Charlie, where he was saying that his wife is actually more conservative than him. He's more mild or modern or something. It's like an ongoing joke that they had. So I wonder, what do y'all think? And then just, you know, while I was in the chat, I've seen a bunch of money. I've seen a bunch of people, you know, people saying that they standing behind her. So I'm just wondering what's about to happen behind this. What's about to happen? But what y'all think about what this guy said? Let me see. Hold on. Obtain a lawyer right now. Stay strong, dude. Freedom of speech. Stay strong. Be careful. Stay safe. They are dirty politicians. This administration threatens everyone. They're bullies. Good job. Stand up to the dictators. Yes, he was threatened. Yes, he was threatening you. Be careful. Trump is crazy. Like these are some of the comments that people are leaving. That kid Tyler was a groper. And that camp is beefing with Kirk's camp. Yes. Now I wondered like their relationship. Now somebody told me that you know, I don't know these folks, but Nick Fuentes, they said that he's too far right to be paid like Kirk or something. Like he wouldn't have been able to persuade. I don't know, but I've heard of that because actually what's it, Tyler had on a Adidas outfit. I guess they have Adidas outfits and they have a frog is the logo or whatnot, and he was dressed as one. And his mom had made a comment saying, "My weird kids" or something. I guess he dressed as one of them for Halloween. And she was like, Tyler's dressed as some weird guy on social media. She didn't even know what it was about. So I have heard that 755, but I didn't know they was beefing. I didn't know if they was friends. It sounded like they after, you know, they got the same belief, but I don't know, man. You know, a lot of time, most of the time, like when we find out stuff, it's already too late. This stuff been brewing for years. Years. Unbeknownst to a lot of us.
For Christmas, I got one of those cookie boxes, but here's the magic part. Watch this. There are actually cookies inside of here, and I've never seen that in my life. For Christmas, I got one of those cookie boxes.
So that's Nicholas, or wait, what's his name? God, what is his man name? Anyway, that's the lover. I can't think his name. That is him. And then
And he started this really during what would normally be college, maybe even sooner than that, but what would normally be college. And it's become a movement. And, you know, I won youth. A Republican never wins youth, but I won youth. And he started this really during what.
So it just sounds like, you know, the winning youth thing, he really credits him for it. And he said a Republican never wins youth, but he was able to with Charlie. I don't know, man. There's so much going through my head right now with this. So much. But dang, it just seemed like everybody is just moving on, you know, like a speed bump. No more, nobody more than the president. I guess he don't cry at all, because if he talks about I was watching something and they were put together a bunch of clips where he was talking about people crying and being big strong men and crying, like he see crying as a weakness, and I'm sure he don't have empathy either. I mean, just from some of the things that I've heard, but we all human. So I mean, I think people cry when they really are hurt and sad about something, and if they don't, then they don't give a damn. Like that's really what I think. Cause if I get touched by something, can't nothing stop these tears from flowing, my voice from changing, eyes welling up, you know, when I really care. Now let's listen at what this lady had to say about the memorial.
All right. So I wanted to watch Charlie Kirk's wife talk, and I wanted to feel sympathy, compassion for her. And I'm going to be very honest with you. I felt threatened. I felt threatened by her words. Let me start by saying it seemed awfully performative, like Hunger Games performative, like Handmaid's Tale performative. That's my opinion. It's just my opinion. I'm just one person. But the words that she used were very threatening to me. It was.
Let me know what y'all think about what this lady is saying, if y'all can relate or not relate to what she's saying.
Some of the biggest dog whistles of all. And the way that I heard the dog whistle was, for my husband's legacy, we are going to unleash so much power to take down everybody that's not a white Christian nationalist.
What do y'all think about what she's saying? These are the fools you want running the country. I don't. They are all horrible people. I definitely respect your opinion. You know, lucky as in Democrat planned. I just don't understand the whole Democrat thing. Like I said, because the grandmother said that her whole family, she don't know a Democrat. That's what his grandmother said. So I just don't understand why the Democrats are being blamed unless because I heard that Obama was being blamed, right? So one of the things that I noticed is that Obama was the one that approved the gay marriages, correct? So are they blaming him because of that? I think everything that's done is a part of the plan. I really do. It's like whatever the last administration do, it gives the next one something to do when they come in. Just like Trump, he campaigned on the wall the first time, right? And he never built it. And then Bush, then Biden came in and he let all of them over here. Now Trump is back to get them all out, And anytime you mess with something like that, okay, you start one way. It started with the criminals, only the illegal ones, right? But then it became all of them, right? And then it became all races. That, yeah, like, so it's like this is the whole purpose of it all, is what I'm looking at. You know, it's crazy to me. It's politics and bullshit. That's what I think. So are they blaming Obama because of that? And also they raised the flag on George Floyd's back. Everything that I just said is things that I noticed myself. Like, and again, I don't follow politics at all, but that's just something that I noticed. Like, wow, that's exactly what I seen. George Floyd was lumped with the pride. I literally seen them. It was a protest going on, and I literally seen them raise this gay flag during a George Floyd protest. And that tripped me out. I was like, they just stole his whole, like, they just gaffled his whole movement. They did. Wow. But anyway, let's get back to this.
That's how I interpreted it. I don't know. Did anybody else feel the same way?
Oh, let's go back. She's talking about the
Down
dog whistle.
everybody that's not a white Christian nationalist. To me, it was. That's my opinion. It's just my opinion. I'm just one person. But the words that she used were very threatening to me. It was some of the biggest dog whistles of all. And the way that I heard the dog whistle was, for my husband's legacy, we are going to unleash so much power to take down everybody that's not a white Christian nationalist. That's how I interpreted it. I don't know. Did anybody else feel the same way? And I didn't expect her to show that she's a humane, kind person by saying, I know my husband, a lot of people felt like they were harmed by his rhetoric, but I promise you he was a really good man who cared about everybody. I didn't expect her to say that, but I did walk away feeling like she in some way encouraged or helped draft some of his most hateful rhetoric. That's the energy I got from her.
I told you what I just heard.
Also was hoping for a little bit of appreciation to all of us as taxpayers, because Donald Trump has been using our tax dollars to pay for everything. And her husband was not even he wasn't even in the military. But we paid to fly her around, to fly his body around. I'm sure we're going to be paying for his funeral. So I was hoping maybe she'd thank everybody for that kind of support, including liberals, because we're all paying for it. I was really hoping, because by the time she gave this speech, we knew a lot more about the shooter. I was really hoping she would say, now that we're finding out more about the shooter, this is a great time to remind everybody we're all American. We shouldn't be making accusations and threatening each other. But no, she gave the big, bold warning and dog whistle that the fight is going to get even more aggressive from the right. And she said, I'm going to fight the rest of my life to keep his legacy alive. And that we have no idea what we have done. Like he's some kind of Jesus figure hanging from the cross. Well, I am going to help keep his legacy alive. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he's not martyred. I'm going to stand by the millions and millions of people who were victimized, traumatized by the influence of his racist, homophobic, sexist rhetoric.
Now, what do y'all think about what she said?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, hey, she is keeping it real. I heard a lot of hate. The two things that I said, calling for public execution. That right there. A call for that. What age should your kids be able to watch? Wow. I mean, and if I didn't see nothing else, that's enough. That's enough. Not as many as you do. Get the hell out my chat. Boy, I tell you, these people. But anyway, it's freedom of free. Wait, we got Luigi up in here. How you gonna take Luigi name? Got the man's whole name and picture. Wow. Did you subscribe, Luigi, and thumbs up the video? I know, right, girl? At A is hateful. Yeah, that's saying stuff like what. That's wishing death upon someone, and I would never do that personally. I don't believe in that. Now, this was something that I heard that, and I didn't even know BFF sent this one, but I don't know how much of it is. But this guy, I ran across this, and some of the stuff he was saying. Let's see how.
They want me to talk about this boy, Charlie Kirk.
Oh, I didn't see this. Oh, this is a guy that I listened to, right? He was talking about something else. What is his name?
Israel does not control the United States. Who got shot in Utah. Him getting shot.
I think his name's Shahed Boston. I'm not sure if this is his name, but I had y'all might know who this guy is. I'm gonna have to find out.
They want me to talk about this boy, Charlie Kirk, who got shot in Utah. Him getting shot in Utah makes him, I believe, American number 18,533 who got shot in the U.S. this year, shot and killed.
Dang.
And I think that there were 3 more people who were killed, shot and killed in Colorado, just over the mountains, within hours of his shooting. And all the flags in America are going to fly half-mast, not for those 18,335 other victims, but they're going to fly half-mast for Charlie Kirk. That's just an observation. You can do with it what you will. I'll be honest, when I first heard that he had been shot, I made a joke about it on X. Because frankly, I'm just as used to theatrics coming out of America as I am used to gun violence coming out of America. And I thought that theatrics seemed more likely in this case. But when I did learn that he died, I deleted my post. I deleted it out of respect, not for him, but for the severity and for the solemnity of the judgment that he has now proceeded to. Because everything that he ever said and everything that he ever did that harmed anyone, well, he's going to answer for that. He's going to answer for that right now in his meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the heaviness of that meeting is disturbing to any of us who believe in it.
You don't have to announce you're leaving, just go. I mean, freedom of speech, right? The hell? Like, respect everybody's opinion. You ain't got to agree with it, but bye.
But we'll talk about it. Let's start with the obvious, okay? First, I'm not going to feign grief or feign mourning for this person. I know that's a hypocrisy that social etiquette demands at a moment like this, but we all know that he would certainly not grieve for us. He certainly would not mourn for us, just as he never grieved and he never mourned for the wanton slaughter of the Palestinians in Gaza. He never grieved for that. And for myself personally, as a Muslim and as a critic of Western so-called civilization, I know that Charlie Kirk himself would most likely have officially anyway considered me to be his enemy. And as far as I'm concerned, any man whose enemy mourns him when he dies, well, he wasn't doing his job. And I don't think it can be said about Charlie Kirk that he didn't do his job, which is to say that he never did anything and he never said anything in his public life that would make me mourn his passing, just as I hope that I will never say or do anything in my public life that would make my enemies grieve for my passing. They should be happy when I die.
Do anybody believe that Charlie wanted anybody to mourn him? Could you imagine a person that has no empathy? I heard him say he does not like empathy. So is it wrong not to grieve a person that don't like empathy?
Enemies are disturbed by each other's presence, not by each other's absence. But let me also be crystal clear about this. It doesn't make me happy either. I neither mourn nor celebrate. Neither of those reactions is appropriate, in my opinion. Whoever pulled that trigger didn't do it for me, and they didn't do it for you. I don't even see them as being on two different sides. They didn't silence Charlie Kirk. They amplified Charlie Kirk. The power structure never cared about that boy. They used him.
Do y'all believe that? I mean, one thing for sure, and I seen it when I was listening to the memorial. More people join. They're going to be stronger. That's what she's calling for. Dog whistle, rally cry. I forgot what she called it. She called it something. I forgot her words. But yeah, she promoted the business right there when she first came on. She said, go to Turning Point USA website and join. So she was telling people at the same time at his memorial. No, before this is before the memorial when she gave her first words. So yeah, I believe that they definitely made him stronger with that. With this happening, is stronger. Because you got emotions. Everybody is emotional right now. I seen videos. I seen a guy say, President Trump, give us the okay. Let's have a civil war and we can drag people out. I'm like, whoa. This is the push. Let's keep going.
And he's more useful to them now than he was the day before. He's more useful to them dead than he was alive. Listen, you don't defeat someone like this, someone like a Charlie Kirk, a tool like him, by letting that tool mold you into exactly what they want you to be.
Now, if you listen at how they talk about him, they definitely listen to his memorial and what they said. He is like Charlie linked everybody together. They giving him credit for them being there, including the president. So it's like Charlie was a part of the administration. He was the unheard part. I mean, I never heard of the guy, period. And I heard a lot of other people say the same thing. So a lot of people knew him. I mean, people knew him, but not the world. The world knows this man now. The world knows this man. So that alone proves that he's bigger. And people always get bigger when they die. Think about how many rappers and stuff pass and how much money the industry makes off of them after they gone, even if they wasn't popular anymore. Once they die, everybody want to go buy their music. You know what I'm saying? Talk about them, buy this, that, and the third. And sometimes they just put out an album and then they gone. You know, that just happens a little bit too much, but let's keep going.
That killer didn't deliver justice. If you think they did, he didn't. He delivered to the power structure an even more enhanced weapon. He made a mediocre, but dangerous.
I can't say that I don't agree with that. He definitely didn't. That didn't help anything. It didn't strengthen
And
things.
polarizing figure, Charlie Kirk, into now an impeachable icon for the very fan base that he most likely despises. And he made criticism of Charlie Kirk's ideas. Now it's disrespect for the dead. This is not resistance. This is a gift. This is a gift to the very security state that he probably thought he was attacking. Now it's stupidity. Or maybe, as the conspiracy theories are already speculating, what actually happened was just a purge of an expendable asset to create a more powerful symbol. Well, they'll use his death. Oh, how they will use it. They will use his death to paint every dissenting voice, every cry for a more just world. They'll paint it with the same bloody brush. They're going to use his death to avoid, once again, ever having to look in the mirror. They're going to hold Charlie Kirk's body up as a shield against any examination of the society that created him. And the society that created his killer. The society that they made and that they rule, and you didn't do anything now but strengthen their hold on that society. They're going to use his corpse as a pulpit to preach from. And you just validated all the lies that they're going to be preaching. You understand me? Because listen, the truth is the Charlie Kirks of the world are not the enemy. The enemy is the society, it's the system, it's the power structure, it's the so-called civilization that creates boys like Charlie Kirk.
What y'all think about what this man just said? Warning someone that they are leading to death is not hate. Have you ever heard him say that he wanted to bring back public execution? Don't equate Chuck with Jesus. We talking about Chuck Taylor or who we talking about? The enemy within is the devil. Man, listen, it is so much, so many moving parts with this. I see so much with this. But most of all, it's like, it's enlightening and it's disappointing. It's like, wow, I can see the play. He preached hate, somebody said. A said. The enemy lying, saying everyone goes to heaven. That ain't true. But of course, everybody thinks that their loved ones are going to heaven, though. No, I ain't seen nobody say that their loved one is going to hell. I never. Everybody that they be like, I know he going to heaven. You know, and I just be like, hell must be empty. You know what I'm saying? Hell must be empty. All the people that I hear. But as a matter of fact, yeah, I don't know, by Christmas anyway, for most of us, it's a Shakespeare's play. Did we forget what? He preached warning, that's not hate. But I don't think it's everyone. Shout out to the 242 people in the building. I definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all did not get them thumbs up today. Y'all did not get the thumbs up today, and that really sucks. So I don't know. If y'all haven't hit the thumbs up though, can y'all please do it right now? It's 247 total. I think most of the people are on the politics channel. So can y'all please get the thumbs up? Let me see what y'all looking like over here. We got 163 people in the building with 68 thumbs up. Can y'all hit the thumbs up? Hate is hate. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Hate is hate. I mean, you get the same result from it, no matter which side it's coming from. And, nothing is really solved through hate either. It just festers and grows into more of it. But, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's always been this way. not making it right. That don't make it right. But it's more out there now. It's back out there again. Who is Chuck? That I'm not sure. Deeply saddened. What happened? Yep. Quite disgusted with everything that I'm looking at. I'm looking at a lot of moving parts, and man, y'all. I mean, if y'all listen to me, you probably could hear it in my voice. I'm just I got a lot of emotions going on. You know, allegedly 755 said. Shout out to Miss Patty. Welcome. Shout out to Miss Patty. Thank you so much for being a member for 26 months, rocking with your girl. She said the host keeps it real over here. Thank you so much, Miss Patty. You know, in all due respect, like I feel like you know, we all entitled to have our opinion or whatever. Just it is what it is. I mean, I would rather know how you really feel versus the fake stuff. Shoot, I can respect the real. Let me know what I'm dealing with. Don't fake it. You ain't gotta fake it to make it. But I don't like going backwards though. Nobody should. Things being dismantled, misinterpreted. Because I feel like affirmative action. Well, it happened because it needed to. You know, we wasn't even considered human back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they had to put some things in place. I feel like DEI may have watered down affirmative action and why that happened. And people act like they don't understand why that had to be applied. It was a time when we couldn't even drink out of the same water fountains. Come on, man. But anyway, let me get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Make this go viral. Shout out to 755 in the chat. Y'all smack that thumbs up on the way out, please. Peace and love. Quit hating, Anonymous. Don't be a hater all your life. Not a good look. Wow. Peace and love, y'all. We out.